2010, California. In Beverly Hills, luxury cars wait in a driveway. A group steps out, dressed sharply. Behind them come the bags, dozens of black bags. They load the bags into the trunk, one after another. To neighbors, it looks like a trip. But inside those bags is something else. They move fast, but no panic. This isn't their first time. They get in and drive off, speeding to the airport. At the airport, a private jet is already waiting for them. The luxury cars roll in. Luggage handlers unload bag after bag, stacking them by the jet. One bag, then 10, then 20. The pile grows high. Then, she steps out. Sunglasses still on, diamonds flashing. It's her, Lisette Lee, the princess. She pauses at the stairs, scans the runway, then climbs slowly, as if performing for an invisible audience. The last bags disappear inside. The jet takes off into the sky. Up in the sky, it feels like a party. The crew laughs, drinks, take pictures. Lisette sits at the center, the star of her own illusion. Outside, clouds drift by. Inside, it's music and luxury. Nobody's worried. To them, it's another successful flight. But not far away, another team is moving. In a small office, DEA agents crowd around a table. Photos, flight logs, maps. They know this plane. They know the bags. And tonight, they plan to end it. Black SUVs wait outside. Guns loaded, vests strapped. The sting is ready. 2 hours later, the jet lands in Ohio. On the ground, luxury cars wait. The group unloads the bags again, stacking them into the cars. To a regular viewer, the bags look like any regular luggage. But to the agents hiding nearby, it's $1 million drug load. Suddenly, lights explode on the runway. Black SUVs race forward. Agents rush out.
Federal agents! Hands in the air!
Some drop to the ground. Others raise their hands. The bags are ripped open one by one. Tons of marijuana inside. Lisette, the so-called Korean princess, steps out slowly, still wrapped in diamonds, her face frozen in disbelief. For months, she had flown above suspicion, untouchable in her world of lies. But tonight, the act is over. This is that story on Legenemy. For you to understand how this princess got herself into this big trouble here, we need to rewind. Back to 2009. Obama has just become the first black president of America. A nation still healing from the recession breathes again. Shops reopen. Jobs return. Hope, finally, feels real again. And with hope comes nightlife. Across the country, lights flicker back on. Music, laughter, sweat. The party is back on the menu. Among the clubs reopening, this one. Inside, she's there, the princess. Eyes that promise she belongs to no one. She doesn't know it yet, but tonight will change everything. Then, he walks in. David Garrett. A look that promises trouble. He walks like he owns the night, and everyone can feel it. He locks eyes with the princess. Two worlds about to collide. The heiress and the hustler. She's drawn to him, instantly. By midnight, they're inseparable. By dawn, the princess has fallen in love. Whispers become laughter. Laughter becomes heat. After the makeout, David leans in close. He confesses. He tells her the truth, at least part of it. He's a drug dealer, with connections in California. He makes an offer that would change both their lives forever. Transport marijuana from California to Ohio, where the price triples overnight. The math makes sense. The risk doesn't. A pound of weed worth $2,000 in California could sell for $8,000 in Ohio. Move hundreds of pounds at a time. You're sitting on a gold mine. She pauses. In her mind, 1981. There's baby Lisette, unwanted, at least by her birth parents. Her mother's family forbade the marriage. Japanese father, Korean mother, two worlds that would not meet. The choice was made. Give the baby away. Erase the connection. Lisette was shipped to America at just 3 weeks old. Master Lee and his wife took her in. A new house, a new name, no past. As a teen, Lisette claimed her father was Yoshi Morita, a powerful Japanese casino owner, a gangster tied to the Yakuza, and part of the Sony family. Her mother, she said, was Corinne Lee, daughter of Samsung's founder, Byung-Chul Lee, one of the richest names in South Korea. She was the perfect hybrid of East and West. It was a perfect story, almost too perfect. Her biological father stayed in the shadows. Every month, envelopes, sometimes as much as $100,000. Money crossing oceans like quiet apologies. But money can't buy the one thing she wanted, acceptance from the family that refused her. So she built something else, a persona, bigger, brighter, better than everyone around her. The rich heiress, the adored princess. Beverly Hills becomes her classroom. She studies the wealthy like a script. How to talk about money, how to dress like rich, how to meet people without begging for it. She watches, she memorizes, she performs. Now it's time to apply it. She becomes a Harvard graduate. Sometimes she speaks with a British accent to hint European roots. Then the legend expands. A Vogue cover in Europe. A pop star like Britney Spears. Actually, better than Britney. By her 20s, she drove a Bentley. She wore only designer clothes. When anyone asked where the money came from, she had an answer ready. Model in Korea. A life on fancy magazine pages. David presented this offer. A once-in-a-lifetime window. Exactly what Lisette needed most. This could buy everything she'd ever pretended to be. It would make her story, at least on the surface, believable. She tilted her head, calculating. Then she leans forward and smiles.
I know what you need.
Oh yeah? What's that?
Me. Just one condition.
Everything has to look legitimate. No sloppy moves, no trace. If he is going to buy the princess, it must be perfect. With a jet, she can move products, but products need hands, entourage, a team to carry all that cash. She gathers her inner circle.
My very trusted friends, I have a business proposition. I'm asking you to be the founding team of this great business. This is the opportunity of a lifetime.
She never says what the business is, and surprisingly, no one asks.
I need to know, are you in or out?
Team LL is born. Team Lisette Lee. She builds the operation like a luxury brand. She studies shipping manuals like bedtime reading, memorizes the language, bill of lading, chain of custody, last mile. She mimics the style of professionals. Nothing about her setup is accidental. Lisette and Team LL are ready for the first run. The product is sealed tight, vacuum-packed, scent killed, no loose crumbs, no mistakes. A dozen suitcases, black, identical. They load them precisely, professionally. Daddy's girl is about to prove the apple didn't fall far from the tree. They roll into Van Nuys Airport. They load the suitcases onto a charter jet. The jet lifts. Landing in Columbus felt like winning. No checkpoints, no questions. The plan is working perfectly. On the ground, it's a business transaction. Suitcases to the hotel room, lock the door. 30 minutes passed. Then the dealer arrived. Suitcases swapped, drugs out, cash in. The first run pays off, more than $300,000. The money that paid for the flights and crew, all cash. No paper trail. They made it, they repeat it, every 3 weeks. Runs become routine. The crew moves nearly 500 pounds per trip. Lisette makes a name for herself. She calls it what it is, Mafia Princess. From November 2009 to June 2010, 14 runs. More than 7,000 pounds moved. On Ohio streets, that load would be worth over $40 million. Lisette watches the numbers rise. Money, power, proof. She has it all. The princess isn't pretending anymore. She's building an empire, and the world still thinks she's only a story. The team adored her. Then they started to obey her, and soon they began to fear her. This is Katie, Lisette's best friend, her closest ally. Until today at Lisette's house, she just told her to grab the keys from the front hall. Katie opens a drawer, freezes. A gun. Before she can turn, Lisette is already there, close, watching.
Is that real? Of course it's real. Is it loaded? Of course it is. You never know when I might have to use it.
From today, Katie is terrified of Lisette. So is everyone on Team LL. They're all trapped inside Lisette's illusion, and one of them is about to find a way out. This is Lisette today. Coffee half finished, makeup halfway done, another trip ahead, another run planned in her head. Then, her phone rings. It's David, her boyfriend, her partner. The voice that once meant control, now sounds like goodbye.
Look, babe, I can't do this anymore.
What are you talking about, babe?
I'm ending everything. Business, dating, friendship. I'm out of it all.
Why? Why are you doing this?
The brush in her hand trembles. Tears follow fast.
Why are you leaving me?
But she already knows. David was there from the start. He coordinated flights, booked charters, kept the system alive. He was the backbone of her operation. And now, he's leaving. The breakup rips open old wounds of rejection. She doesn't take it well. She scales up the business, more runs, more money. Soon her operation becomes a multi-million-dollar operation, a self-made empire, not Samsung-level power, but enough to stand on her own. The mafia princess has become the queen, and for a while, it works. 4 months in, the cracks begin to show. Team LL starts whispering, "Is this really legit?" How long before someone notices? The problem wasn't the scale, it was the spotlight. The bigger she got, the more visible she became. Then comes the first sign something's wrong. The smell. Even vacuum sealed, the smell leaks. The air inside the jet grows heavy, thick, sweet, obvious. Crew members exchange nervous looks. If they can smell it, who else might? Handlers, ground staff, law enforcement. The clock had started ticking. June 14th, 2010, Van Nuys Airport. Lisette boards her private jet for another routine run to Ohio. Trip number 14. Same crew, same route, same script. On paper, nothing's changed. But this time, something's different. The first red flag comes from the ground. Airport staff who've seen her too many times before. Same story.
I don't know.
Too many bags. Someone talks.
Something's not right.
He tells someone. That someone tells the DEA. They flag the next flight. By the time Lisette's jet leaves the runway, federal agents are already moving. DEA, airport police, customs, all waiting for one plane. Hours later, the Gulfstream descends. Landing gear lowers. Wheels hit the ground. This is it. The end of the act. The empire she built on air, luxury, and lies has just landed. The arrival is about to become the takedown.
As the plane landed, we made a fairly quick decision to just stop them before they got onto the highway.
A lot of agents, a lot of badges, and a lot of machine guns.
The US police found 230 kilos of marijuana in her luggage. Their suspicions were raised when the 28-year-old...
And this is how we got here today. Lisette doesn't flinch. She steps out, annoyed.
What's going on? I'm a model. My makeup artist is right there. My bodyguard's in yellow. Who do you think you are?
The story is so outlandish, some agents hesitate. What if it's real? Then, the bags are ripped open. Inside, 500 pounds of marijuana. That's $500,000 on the street. Drug ledgers, a gun, $50,000 in cash. It's over. Then, she changes her story.
I'm a Samsung heiress. I was just transporting art for a friend. I didn't know what was inside.
Another story, maybe another lie. It doesn't work. They put her under arrest. As they lead her away, she turns and...
But what will I wear in jail?
But what will I wear in jail?
An heiress to the Samsung family fortune is at the center of a major drug bust. Lisette Lee was arrested up.
Agents start digging into her background. Nothing lines up. The truth begins to surface. You remember when I said, she becomes a Harvard graduate? She didn't. There's no record of her ever attending. No classes. No degree. Remember the modeling career? Almost non-existent. Her biggest acting role was in The Doorman. She played Baby Sugar Mama, the pop star claim. Couldn't be verified. Her entire life, her identity, her career was built on illusion. And then came the final blow, the Samsung heiress claim.
And agents are now trying to confirm that Lee is an heir to the Samsung Electronics Corporation.
Within hours of her arrest, Samsung issued a statement. They had never heard of her. No connection, no relation. Investigators found that she went by many, many, many names. Even with the evidence stacked against her, Lisette wouldn't break. She sat calm in interrogation rooms, perfectly composed.
I was misled. It wasn't my operation.
She blamed her boyfriend, her team. She claimed she was only a passenger, moving legal products, maybe something gray area, but drugs. Not that, not her. Then, something happened. Something that almost changed everything. During a search of her home, investigators found a letter, signed by the executive vice president of Samsung. The letter called Lisette Lee a third-generation heiress. Finally, proof. For a moment, it looked like her story might be real after all. Maybe the princess really was royalty. News outlets ran with it. But 2 days later, Samsung fired back. They released the real letter. No mention of Lisette. Different signature. They called her letter a forgery. The letter was fake. That's when the doubt hit me. After everything we've seen, every twist, every claim and denial, I started to wonder if anything I said in this video was true. Maybe even her name is not Lisette Lee. Today is court day for Lisette. She walks in like the court works for her. She takes her seat here. Next to her is James Owen, her lawyer. Next to them are 3 more lawyers, all fighting for her release. Then, she takes the stand. She pleads not guilty. It doesn't go well. Katie is already there, on the stand. Best friend, now witness. She points to Lisette as the ringleader. Assistants follow. Testimony traded for lighter sentences. One by one, the story unravels in public. The court sees through the act. The mask doesn't work here. It doesn't take long. Her not guilty becomes guilty. June 2011. Lisette Lee, if that's her real name, is sentenced to 6 years in federal prison and fined $20,000. Katie gets 1 month in prison and a year of house arrest. David gets 10 years. Prior arrests make it worse. Even in prison, Lisette's performance won't stop. She calls it a vacation at a government resort. Time to polish her tennis and yoga. You can't make this up. But with Lisette, she always did. September 2015. Almost 5 years here. Lisette Lee walks out free. A black car waits by the gate. Someone steps out, opens the door. She gets in. They drive off, and she disappears. Unlike other notorious figures, she doesn't write a book. No movie deals, no reality shows. She just disappears into the world she once pretended to rule. No one knows where she is. Not today. Not since. Still, one question lingers. Was she actually part of the Samsung family?
And the reason why I believe that she is the illegitimate child of a Samsung heir is because it was told in open court. To stand up in court and state untrue things. I mean, that just makes no sense for those people to open them up for that kind of liability, that kind of prosecution. I mean, really.
We know one thing. As a child, she received monthly payments, up to $100,000. And in Asia, if you can send that kind of money overseas, it means one thing. You are very, very, very rich. The Samsung dynasty is very rich.
She gets money from somewhere. I just, whether or not they want to claim her, that's up to Samsung.
Maybe, just maybe, Lisette wasn't lying about everything. Or maybe the greatest lie she ever told was the one we still believe. Until next time, this is Legenemy.